Hi everyone, we are live today in Empower and Thrive, a holistic digital approach in business live series podcast. This is the episode 16, and I'm Jona. I'm the founder and host of this podcast. Today we have a special guest. I'm not good at introducing and doing the introductions, but what I love to say is Darpan is an L3 personal trainer, which we'll go back to the what does the L3 stands for in a second. A qualified nutrition coach that elevates your lifestyle using the three components that she's going to tell us in a minute. So, Darpan, please, the floor is yours. Give us the introduction, what you do, and what does the L3 personal training stands for. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for having me here. And yes, like you said, I'm level 3 personal trainer. And level 3 really means that I can work with people on a one-to-one basis. I can do group coaching and I can work for people in terms of their needs, their goals, and I can work with them on a one-to-one basis in terms of building strength and whatever they need to do. I take people away from the mindset of, focusing on scales, on weights, and basically taking their lifestyle to a next level. So, I work with them in terms of creating their lifestyle sustainable habits that are going to create a quality future for them in the future. So I bring combination of fitness, nutrition, and mindset. And fitness really is in terms of what kind of exercises you need to do, what is right for your body, what phase of life you are at, and what kind of things you need to be doing. So that is all about fitness. In terms of nutrition, again, it's we all know what we should be eating, but it's actually making sure that we are creating a balanced meal. How should how for a lot of women it's about balancing their hormones, or if you've got any health issues, so what kind of things you should be eating. So I coach my clients through that. And I think third one is really very important, and it's very close to me because I had to work very, very hard on mindset. And we are born with certain beliefs, certain things about ourselves. So mindset for me is really breaking those beliefs and making sure that we have the tools to overcome that and become the version that we want to become.
Thank you so much for the introduction and for explaining me in first place what the L3 personal trainer qualification means. Thank you so much, Darpan. You mentioned that you work on the mindset. We're going to touch on the mindset in a minute because we are busting some myths here, obviously, about the whole components that you are working as a nutrition coach and mindset coach in this case. But can we go back to the targets, to your target group? So who are you helping? Who are you currently helping?
It tends to be more women that have come to me, and women who have actually very surprisingly now moving away from weight loss to building strength. So a lot of women who are going through menopause, really, because I think there's so much information out in terms of menopause, and people kind of hear a lot of things. So I'm getting women who want to build strength, women who are having aches and pains, for example, so they want to work on their joints and bones and muscles so that they can have better quality future. So, a lot of women, I would say I'm working with women. My target audience would be from 35 years to about 65 at the moment. And, 35-year women are coming to me because they want to be at a good stage when they enter their next phase of life, for example. And women who are already in their perimenopause and menopause, they want to change the habits. Our bodies are changing, everything's happening to us. So it's just kind of understanding what they should be doing in terms of managing those changes that are happening, with their bodies, with their lifestyle as they go through different phases of life.
I have a question regarding the habits. So you mentioned that obviously you are helping them build the habits, but I think part of the process is being consistent in building those habits. So you need a before step, a pre-step before you get to the habit is the consistency. So I talk a lot about consistency with my social media strategy and clients, and I bang on about that all the time. But in this case, I think we have a little synergy, me and you, about helping clients with that messaging. So what is one of the steps, let's say the first step that you are helping the clients towards being consistent to reach the goal of building that habit, that structure?
I think it's so true. Like consistency really comes if obviously you've got to keep showing up. I think that's the first thing I say to my clients is, don't get, you are not going to be motivated every day. And sometimes I think motivation is overrated because we wait to be motivated, right? And I wake up sometimes in the morning, and today was one of those days. I'm like, I really don't want to do my workout. But, it happens to all of us, but it's actually just showing up. Sometimes it is the fact that you are just there. And consistency for me starts in terms of planning. So, we all have 24 hours in a day. And a lot of times that's the, excuse or barrier that I hear from a lot of women is, we don't have time to do our workouts, or we don't have time to cook healthy meals. So we end up getting takeaway. So for me, consistency comes from planning. So beginning of the week, with my clients, I always say to them, sit down and plan when you are going to fit in your workouts. Plan your meals during the day, so you're on top of it. So you don't have an excuse that, oh, I don't have time to do it. I think other thing that it's I had to work a lot with that with me is, you don't always need to have that thing that, I don't have an hour, so I can't do it. Sometimes it's okay to do 20-25 minutes. And like I say to people, it is about showing up. Whether you show up for 20-25 minutes or whether you show up for 45 minutes, you will still get the results. And that is how consistency will happen, because eventually 25 minutes, once you are there, you are in that space. So you won't even realize that you've probably done 35-40 minutes of workout. But it's getting to that stage. So breaking it down into little chunks is, I don't have time to do an hour. Can I do 30 minutes? And build up consistency like that.
I have my son who is wanting to be my personal trainer. He's young enough, but he is not qualified. But what is he always says to me, which resonates in this case, is that I'd rather you do something. I'd rather you go for a run or you do some exercise rather than nothing. So
Yeah.
it's a fair point, definitely. It's a
And
good
it is
point.
fine. And also do something you enjoy. And also, I say that do something you enjoy, but there are things that you might not enjoy, but which are very good for you. So understanding that as well. So I think it's finding that balance of what is essential for you and what you enjoy doing as well. And, that is what's going to keep you focused, in terms of building that routine.
It goes back to the goal, isn't it? So if you have a goal in mind and you want to reach that goal, I don't know about you, because obviously I'm not the expert in the field, but if it's a losing weight, I think it's a different goal from someone that is going to do a strengthening exercise, like you mentioned at the beginning.
I think, and it is very much tapping into that why. And, I also say to people, is your why will change as you go through the journey. So I talk a lot about my own personal experiences because that just makes it more relatable. So for me, when I started my journey, my why became my boys, because, I just thought I can't really have my boys growing up thinking unhealthy lifestyle is okay. And that is when I really changed myself. And, I saw the ripple effect in my family. My boys are like really into their fitness now. They want to eat healthily and all those kind of things. So that was my why then. And now my why has kind of changed now. Now it's more like I love traveling. So I always think is, if I want to travel, if I'm around at the age of 80, and if I still want to travel, I want to be able to travel without any wheelchair. I want to be, go in the plane without thinking about, have I got enough medication? What am I going to do? And, I can't go up and down the stairs. So I think it is very important to have that why. Like some of my clients have some medical issues, like, if you've got cholesterol, you need to work with that. And always I say to people, tap into those feelings is why you are doing it. Because a lot of times it's easy to get demotivated because, we don't always see the results straight away. And we all are very impatient. And, within 2 weeks, I find like my clients are like, oh, you're not getting results. I'm like, yes, your body takes time to react and respond. So, you've got to give it some time. And I think it's understanding those feelings and tapping into that and giving yourself that time is, how committed you are. You want to do something, you've got to be committed to get there in that own time, because it's not going to happen over time. I say to people, it is a journey. It's not going to happen over time. So, you don't want to look for quick fixes. You want to make sure you're getting there using sustainable habits.
I like this mindset. It is really, really good and really important that sustainable results are to be achieved in a sustainable way. You can,
Absolutely.
yes, I really like this. Very good. Thank you so much for highlighting this mindset, Darpan. Can we go back to the myths, please? Obviously, you are specialized in menopause, so with clients who are in either in the menopause or in perimenopause. But can you give me a myth, or not myth, to the audience in this case, one of the biggest myths that you have encountered about menopause in your
Yeah. So
business
I would
journey?
say it's a myth, probably a worry as well for a lot of women. Like they associate weight gain with menopause. So a lot of times I have clients or even my friends, my sisters, they're like, oh, we are, going through menopause and we are putting on weight. So, people think that going through menopause, weight gain is, inevitable. But yes, hormones have a lot to do with it. Our body is in an imbalance. A lot of changes are going inside our body, which is reflecting in the outside of our body. But I say to people, don't blame the menopause. It is like anything else in life. When things are changing, you've got to adapt. And it's the same with our menopause journey. Our body is changing, but we don't really change our habits. We are not adapting to these changes that's happening with us. And as a result, we are putting weight on. So, it isn't just the menopause that's making you put the weight on, it is actually you not working with it. So, a lot of times I feel that we need to work with what's happening with our body rather than against it. So, your body is changing. You've got to do things differently. Your exercise routine needs to be different. Like, if you were a person who used to do a lot of cardio before, that needs to stop and you need to start building strength now. Your eating habits need to change. You need to start boosting your metabolism. So I think that is like a biggest thing that I hear from people. And I think I'll just touch on something else that recently I've heard so much from people is they they think that they're going through menopause and this is it. Like they're like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, it's all downhill from now on. And I just think, you know what, look at it from a different perspective. It could be a start of something else. So, like, again, personally, in the past, like, over last 15, 20 years, we all work hard. We want to build up a career. Like, you and I have to build up our business. I've had my family to look after, raising my boys. So you kind of put everything else on hold because your focus is very different. And with menopause, I say to people, bring that focus back to you. Make yourself the importance, like make yourself the main character of your story now. All this time you've done so much for different people. Now it's your time to do it for yourself. So find things that give you happiness because you've got that time. Your kids are a bit older. You are established in your career. Things are happening. So take that time for you, whether it's just going and grabbing a coffee with a friend. Also think what is important for you in terms of your body and mental health as well. Self-care, so much is going on about self-care these days, but self-care is not just going and getting your nails done, which is great. I get my nails done as well every single month, but it is where self-care is also mentally what makes you happy, physically what your body needs from you as well. So, menopause is there. We all will go through it. And I think a lot of times, why don't we just embrace it and think how we can change it and how we can work with it?
Wonderful. A fun question. Darpan, this wasn't planned in my schedule. I like to plan in advance, obviously. But the fun question, would you rather say that we grab a coffee on the go, so we walk with the coffee in our hand, or we sit and enjoy the coffee in terms of looking at the training point of view?
I actually had that with a friend yesterday. I went and met up for a coffee and I said to her, the sun is shining, let's go for a walk. She's like, I've done my walk,
Oh my
do your walk. So we ended up doing a little bit of walk and little bit of sitting down. But I think every opportunity you get, we should be moving. If the weather allows us, and I know in this country sometimes the weather is big downer, and I'm the first person to say if it's raining, you won't see me walking outside because I just do not do rain. But, when the weather is good, you can move around outside. Every chance you get, go for walks, even encourage your children to go for walk as well with you. And, during COVID, we were all doing that. So, there is no reason why it needs to stop now. We should carry on doing that now. Move around in the house. I always say that I've got a toilet downstairs in my house, but I always come upstairs to use the toilet so that I end up getting those extra steps and movement during the day. So find those little things during the day that helps you moving around a little bit more.
Goes to finish cooking now. So I'm ready, raring to go and finish my cooking dinner and preparing everything I've got to do for the day. So this turned out to be a good question and a fantastic answer. Thank you very much, Darpan. Um, so we are almost 10 minutes left to the live. I haven't seen any question coming up, but if anyone from the audience, if you want to pop any question to Darpan, please pop them in a comment or either DM connect with Darpan on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I follow you on both platforms, obviously. There is so much to know about the work she does, and I'm pretty sure that Darpan will be happy to answer any question. Is that true, Darpan?
Absolutely. Anytime.
Fantastic. So let's crack on with the questions because I'm still there. I want answers. I want really good answers. Uh, so what is the best way to educate and inspire women? Because obviously we are talking about your target audience in this case. And as you may know, I run the Moving Women Forward community. So we talk about supporting and empowering women in their life and business as well. So what can be one of the best ways to educate and inspire women to prioritize their health? It can be exercise, or you as a coach, you can see it as a nutritional coach, or in all the areas of the well-being. What can be one of the best ways?
I think in terms of educating, really, I think personally for me, I think I need to lead by example. That is the best way I can educate people. And, leading by example means that, yes, have consistency in your workouts. Like we said before, consistency is the key for no matter what you're doing in your life, right? We need to have that consistency. And more importantly, as we are going through menopause, consistency becomes more important. So, I'm always the kind of person who would, like I say to people, is do 20 minutes instead of 40 minutes. So, education is about shifting that mindset that I have to be perfect. To forget being perfect, I have to progress. And that is my motto, really, that don't believe in perfection, believe in progression. And, you need to make sure that, like, whatever I'm saying, I think it needs to resonate with people. It needs to be real. So a lot of times I say to people, don't worry about weight loss. Let's build strength. And that's education in this day and age. So we are moving away from being skinny to being stronger now. And, and also women need to understand not why we need to do it, like not what we need to do it, but why we need to do it as well. So, building strength, what does that mean to a normal person? So for me, my job is to educate them and understand that, strength training means you can start from body weight exercises, then you lift weights up, you lift weights in an appropriate form, then you do progressive overload. So education can come in a lot of different ways. In terms of nutrition as well, it's people need to make sure that there is so much information out there. And to be fair, even I get confused sometimes, right? Because the more reading you do, the more you think, oh, but I've read something else and this is saying something else. So we all get confused. Listen to what works with your lifestyle. That's what I always try to do for myself as well. That, if there's something new out there. In the past, I used to be one of those people, oh my God, this is something new out there. The celebrity's done really well. I need to start trying and doing that. But what we don't understand is XYZ of that celebrity, what had caused her to get to where she is now. So learn to educate yourself in a way that is going to work with your lifestyle, not what is applicable to other lifestyles. And the other thing, like before I said as well, is it is really important to break it down into little steps. And I think that is what keeps everyone motivated and inspired, because a lot of times we are so focused in the end result, we end up celebrating the little wins we've had along the way. And I am a big advocate of that. Like, for one of my clients, if she's managed to cook home cooked meals 5 days a week, I'm like, brilliant, like, you've achieved something. So, you've got to work with what is there with you.
That's amazing. I haven't got yet to a 5 days a week planner in terms of cooking, but getting there. So this is a good point. It's a very relatable and uh, currently happening. So it's nowadays. It's everybody. It's in our daily life. The planning and the goals and what we're doing, why we're doing, and how we're doing. You touched on the part of the social media messaging. So because we're the podcast obviously is a holistic digital approach in business. It's all about how we uh, put ourselves, how do we empower ourselves in the world, in the digital world. So in this case, what can you give us one tip to stay motivated for the audience to stay motivated about health using the social media, using digital platforms?
I think first of all, I would say, like, just make sure that you follow the accounts that are relatable to you. I think only then you are going to stay motivated. Because if somebody is putting content that is really alien to you, if you don't understand it, you are just going to get into that stress spiral all the time. So, in terms of motivation, I would say, like I say to you, it's not just always about motivation. It is making sure that you are doing what's right for you. That is the way you're going to stay motivated. So there are so many things out there, but you've got to choose what works with your lifestyle. So, for example, intermittent fasting, people ask me, is it good? Is it bad? And my question always is, will you be able to do it? Does that work with you? Just because it is on social media doesn't mean that it's going to work with you. For 1 week, you'll be motivated, and then you will just think it's not working. So, motivation and your lifestyle would probably need to come together to make sure that you stick with it. And, show your commitment is how much are you willing to give into the process. That is where motivation is going to come as well. So understanding your why, taking your actions, how committed you are, what you need to do. I think it's like a holistic picture. I mean, I know I'm just giving points, but there's so much to say and we are running out of time. But it is like all these things, you've got to put everything in a huge jar for it to work. If you just take one thing out of it, it's not going to work. So, whether it's doing motivation in terms of your workouts, motivation in terms of your, eating healthy, providing, meals, it's when going out, how mindful are you in terms of eating out? Those kind of things, like, we've already touched a lot about mindset. So they all need to work together. And I think social media, I would say, pick what works for you. And I would also say that in terms of social media, it is very easy to get influenced by other people and get demotivated. It's, oh, this person is doing, like, 10 kg bicep curls and I can only do 6 kgs. Understand your bodies are different. So stay in your lane, stay focused, and don't compare yourself to anyone else.
We need a different day to talk about the comparisons. So that's one of the topics of the discussions that comes up every live session we have here in the Empower and Thrive podcast. And it's such a realistic and tangible and actual topic happening to everyone, because we have access to so many platforms, to so many things, to so many sources that are obviously digital in this case. So that's a lot to process, I guess. So yeah, we'll need
Yeah,
another topic, another
yeah,
session, Darpan,
so much on
on
social
that.
media we can talk about, right?
I know it's endless. It's endless. Yes, I've got an idea that I'm gonna tell you later on, but yeah, we'll take it out of this conversation. Darpan, thank you so much. If you have anything that we're running at the minute, I don't know, a webinar, a workshop, a little challenge. Please share it now with us or pop the link in the comments of this thread in the
Yeah,
LinkedIn
I
or
mean, I'll just
Instagram.
quickly
Yep.
share. I'm running my group coaching, which is starting next week. Again, next round of group coaching. So if anyone's interested in that, then please message me. And I'm constantly taking my one-to-one clients. I've got only two slots left for March now. So if anyone's interested, anyone just wants to even have any questions, just connect with me. I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Amazing. A question about your coaching, the group coaching. Is that in person, online?
So group coaching is all online actually. And I
It's all
tend to
online.
keep my coaching really small because I still want to provide some personalized service. So I only take maximum of 10 to 12 people in every round of my group coaching. And my one-to-one, it can be either in person, I've got a purpose-built home gym at home, or it could be online as well. So you have the flexibility.
Yeah, you're welcome to pop the link in the comments about the group coaching, so people can find you and click on the page or DM, whatever the way you prefer to be contacted. Anyway, thank you so much, Darpan. Thank you everybody who watched the live. The replay will be streamed in a minute. Yes, if you have any question, please pop them to Darpan either in DM or comment, and connect with Darpan on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in,
Thank you
and
so
catch
much.
up next week.
Thank you.